So you guys are coming at me with all kinds of questions, and I love it. I appreciate that you consider me some type of guru for Animal Crossing, and you need my help. So we're going to do that today. We're going to break down some tips, some tricks, and answering your questions. Here we go. So what is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, and let's just jump right into today's video. We are going to try to break down as many questions as I can and to help you guys with some tips and moving forward as we go. There's a lot of newcomers that are playing this game, and you know, I'm probably going to hit some spoiler-ish stuff here, and if I do, I'm sorry, but the questions that are coming, you can't answer them without being honest and forthcoming and helping people get to where they got to go. So let's just start off with the number one thing is, man, why do I feel so behind? Why do I feel like everybody else is so far ahead? Here's the thing. If you're watching streamers, or in particular if you're watching me, the reason why I'm so far ahead is just because I started the game 13 hours ahead of everybody else because I started playing the Japanese version. That's a huge jump. It's a huge advantage to getting ahead in terms of like pushing through and getting ahead of somebody that started at midnight in the United States or in Europe or whatever. Like my jump was way ahead of a lot of people. But there's also people that are time traveling, and you have to be cognizant of people that are time traveling and going like, man, the only reason they're that far is because they're jumping ahead. And let me explain. I went to a streamer yesterday, and I regret going to that streamer because they had so much stuff that I wasn't ready to see. And at the end of the day, I even felt like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. But then I realized they're actually a week ahead. They're literally going in, doing their daily tasks. Once they've completed as far as they can go, they move the clock ahead a day, restart the day, and now everything's fresh and new, and they're going forward. These are not the people you want to watch unless you just enjoy them and you entertain them. But if you're new to Animal Crossing, man, that will totally turn you off. That'll totally make you feel like you're not keeping up. So be aware of those people and try the best you can just to stay away until you get a better grasp on what's going on with Animal Crossing. So I'm stuck. I can't get across the river. I don't know how to get the vaulting pole. How does this happen? It's very simple. It's very easy. What you need to do is a two-step process. One, you need to donate 5 species, fish, bugs, whatever, to Tom Nook. Tom Nook will then bring in his friend, Blathers. When Blathers comes in, you'll set the tent up, Blathers shows up, you go in and talk to Blathers, and he talks about fossils. He knows there's fossils on the other side of the river. He needs you to go check them out. He needs you to get them. How do you do that? It's real simple. He gives you a DIY for a vaulting pole. Now, at this point, he'll either give you an additional DIY for shovel, or one of your town members, one of your villagers that are there with you, if you talk to them, they'll give you the DIY for the shovel. So one of two things are going to happen in that aspect of getting you that shovel, but the vaulting pole comes from Blathers. Then you can start going across the river. To my knowledge, it will not break. The vaulting pole will not break. So keep that in the back of your mind. We'll take it a step further. How do you get the ladder? How'd you get the ladder so quick, Bobby? Man, it's the same thing in theory. Once you get to the point where Tom Nook wants you to build houses for people. Once you build those houses for people, he's going to tell you, like, here's a ladder because I want you to get up top into certain areas because I want you to build a wreath for someone's front door. And so you have to do that. You have to go up top, gather flowers that you don't have on the lower ground, on the lower tiers. And that's how you get the ladder. Tom Nook gives it to you. He gives you the DIY recipe. Again, to my knowledge, I haven't seen it yet that the ladder breaks. I can't do the rock trick. Why can't I do the rock trick? Part of the reason why you can't do the rock trick is mainly because you don't have a shovel, or you're just not aware that you can use an axe. So you can either use an axe to hit the rocks, or you can use a shovel. If you use an axe, keep in mind, you have to push forward. You have to push towards the rock, because every time you hit the rock, it pushes you back a little bit. And after like 2 hits, the third hit will miss the rock. So you want to keep pushing towards the rock just until you get a shovel. Then you do the thing that I talked about in yesterday's video with the rocks. You put 2 holes behind yourself to keep you from pushing back. It'll still push you back, but you won't go as far back. So I've opened up Nooks Cranny and I've used the overnight sales thing, but I'm getting less money. Why is that? And that is essentially, they're going to give you 4/5 of the amount of money that you would normally get by selling to them directly. It's kind of like a convenience charge. Hey, you want this thing? You want to be able to sell it to me overnight? You can, but by the way, if you do, we're going to take a little bit of money off the top. No big deal. It's not that much money in the grand scheme of things. I don't mind. I actually like it because it keeps my pockets free. It allows me to keep moving forward with the game, keep making bells, and that such. Man, these balloons keep flying over these packages. I want them. How do I get them? So it's pretty simple. You have to get a slingshot DIY. Those are basically come from the upgrades in the DIY. So when you talk to the Nooks, you could buy DIY upgrades within the Nook Miles. You want to buy those DIY upgrades. When you can buy upgrades that allow you to build new things, buy them. Absolutely buy them, because there's always going to be 1 or 2 little things in there that you're going to need moving forward. So buy up any DIYs that you don't already have. It's key. I'm not getting all the DIYs, but why not? And it's simple. You should, if you have the opportunity to go to a friend's town, if your friend is a little bit ahead of you, go in and buy their DIYs. If you're missing tools, go in, buy their DIY tools, and then go back and do your thing and build them. It's not that difficult, and it can seem difficult. It can seem very confusing, but just take a deep breath, think about it, and that's what you do. You just essentially go to a friend's town, buy some DIY projects that you don't have, and then you can start building stuff. If you don't have a friend, you're just going to have to progress slowly through the thing and more or less take it easy and go through step by step and wait for things to unlock. But if you do want to do it a little bit quicker, if there's some tools that you really want, I want to get a slingshot because I want that present, try to connect with a friend on the internet who has that DIY, see if you can go to that town and buy it from them. I don't know how to do the island tours. How do I do the island tours? It's a 2-step process, and it's very simple. First you have to go to the tent, the residence center. Go in, go to the ATM machine, go to the Nook Miles and buy the island tour or a Nook ticket. You buy the Nook ticket, and then you're going to go, once you get that, you're going to go down to the Dodos. You're going to go to the Dodo airport. You're going to go in. You're going to talk to Orville. He's going to offer you to go visit a friend or to use the Nook Miles tickets. Use the Nook Mile ticket, fly off, go to an island. There's so many resources that are there. You should try to do the islands as often as possible. I'd probably do, 4 or 5 a day if possible, because I want to get all those resources. It's just a mining field, essentially. You can destroy it and it doesn't matter. Everything's going to grow back. You're never going to go to that island again. Keep an eye on it. So where should I place my museum at? For me, everybody's different. But what I did was I tried to find an area that was more wide open. An area that was, because it's very big. You have to keep that in mind. It's going to be big. You have to clear space. You don't have to necessarily tear down trees or whatever, but I tried to look at it and visualize it as, this is kind of a focal point. I want the museum to be a focal point. When people come to my town, I want them to kind of find it easily, so it's not too far off of the dock for the airport. What do I do? So I dropped it in, and I just set it in there, and for now, I'm happy where it is. But then there's somebody that came to me and was like, oh man, I put this thing down, and I don't like where it is. I hate where it is. It's not that big a deal. At some point, I don't know when, because I haven't gotten that far yet, but at some point, Tom Nook will offer you the service of moving buildings. So you can move your house, you can move villagers' houses, you can move the Nooks Cranny and the different businesses, and you can move the museum. So do not worry about if you put something somewhere you're not happy where it is. Once you get further ahead, you will be given the option to move stuff around. It's not that big a deal if you mess up and put it someplace where you're not happy with it. And the final question I have for today that a lot of people were asking was like, man, how did you get Mabel so quick? And it's not that I got her quick. I just basically got the Nooks Cranny quick. and so essentially you want to get Nooks Cranny. When you get Nooks Cranny, the first day you go in there to go buy off of Timmy and Tommy, she is in there talking to them. The Nooklings are asking her to come, but she's not ready to make the full commitment to move the store. So what she does is she starts setting up a little pop-up shop in the plaza. And at some point, I'm sure, once you spend a certain amount of money with her and Sable realize that like there's some money to be made here, so we're gonna move over there. It's really cool. It really is fantastic. The option to buy new clothes and change it up all the time. So this is why I said before, if you want things to progress, you have to spend money. If you want Nooks Cranny to upgrade to a better store, you have to spend money. If you want the Able sisters to show up in town, you have to spend money. So you have to essentially buy things, because once you hit a certain amount of bells spent, the upgrades come in. That is one thing to always keep in mind. You want to spend bells on the stores. You're pushing the economy. You're helping to drive the businesses and have them grow. So that is all. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please slap the like button, share it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, hit the bell so you know what's going on. The other thing I want to tell you is, if there are questions you have, there are no stupid questions, okay? Just don't worry about it. Leave them down below and I will get to them. I will start, because I want to start doing these videos to help people, but part of the problem is I'm not really sure what you guys are struggling with. Some stuff I know because you're asking me, but there's other stuff I know you're struggling with. Just ask down below. Leave a comment and I will use this video's comment section as a way to build further videos within the library for my informational Animal Crossing stuff. So please do that. Take the time, ask a question, and I'm sure you'll see the question pop up in future videos. With that, follow me Instagram, Twitter, and on Twitch at Nintendo Gurus. We're streaming every single day over there on Twitch, showing off the game, playing the game, letting people come to town, going to check people's towns. Come hang out. Come hang out. That is all. Peace out, Preston.